let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. Conversations that cool. Kitchen talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. Conversations that cool. Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk. What you want to talk about?
Hello, 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 hello.
Hi.
Greetings,
Welcome. Super excited to have you all here. Listen, this is Kitchen Talk CTC, Conversations That Cook. I am super excited for this show tonight. It's going to be a little bit of a heavy topic. However, I think we're going to be able to pull this off and make it even a little entertaining. I'm just kind of feeling that a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But I am super excited to be here and to have this particular conversation. So, a little disclaimer and a whole lot of appreciation. I was forgot what I was looking at, but I came across the fact that September is National Suicide Prevention Month. And I was like, oh my goodness, we need to talk about this. Mm-hmm. And so I reached out to my friend, Aprell R, and I was like, can you do such and such on Thursday? I think this was Sunday night, maybe. And she was like, sure, yes. And then she said, well, can I bring a friend? I was like, absolutely. And then I was thinking, I was like, okay, so I'm going to call my baby sister and ask her if she wouldn't mind sharing her experience in a very open forum with us. And she was like, oh, sure. Y'all know I love yeses.
Yes, you do.
I'm a little spoiled. I admit it. But I love
you got it honest.
Yes. Love yeses. So what I would like for you all to do is introduce yourselves to our audience. And then we'll get into National Suicide Prevention Month. So, Tasha, let's start with you.
All right, my name is Tasha. Hi, everybody. I am Lisa's baby sister. I'm me. That's about it. That's it. That's
Thank
all.
you, Portia. Prophetess Tenor.
I didn't know he was going to say that, but okay.
I am. You know, it just slipped out.
I understand. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not ashamed. I'm Aprell R. I am MSW, BSW, MSW, and for those who don't know, that's social work, Bachelor of Social Work, Master of Social Work. I am also a registered clinical social work intern working towards full licensures, and I am a master's level psychotherapist with SG Mental Health Counseling.
Nice. And Ms. Clinton.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to come on the platform. Hello, everybody. My name is Gwendolyn Clinton, and I have the pleasure and the privilege to work also with Miss Aprell R. I have a master's in psychology and in education, with a bachelor's in health education and a whole lot of other initials. Also, registered mental health clinician intern working on full licensure. I am the associate clinical director of SG Mental Health and a state certified case manager. So a lot of other stuff. So there you go. Not to mention, just like to have a good time.
Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Many of you may remember April from a few shows, almost, whoa, a year or
Yes,
more.
a year
Yeah,
and
over a year.
9 months to be
Yeah,
exact.
yeah, yeah.
9 months 9 months in a day to
Oh
be
my
exact.
goodness. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. That's close to 2 years, April.
Yep, yep, yep.
So, some time ago we did a singles series. Um, and April was one of my guests. And April and I also go to church together. And she was the leader of our singles ministry for like 2 seconds. And then she got married. and, and it was wonderful. So we had to bring her back to see how you do that.
I know that's right.
So so glad to have you back in this capacity as well. Um
Yes, yes.
so uh so when we talk about let's, I guess we could kind of get into what our topic is for the night, for tonight. So National Suicide Prevention Month.
Mm-hmm.
um I guess for me, there are so many things that we just do not talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to have this particular platform and being able to spark conversations that we do not have. And mental health is one of those conversations that we need to continue to have. Um, I know growing up, you didn't really talk about people being different.
Mm-mm.
Um, you didn't talk about, I think the label then was, oh, they crazy, but it's all right. And nobody ever really dug in to see why that person acted the way they acted. Nobody had any real, I don't want to say that they didn't have compassion. What I want to say is we didn't have knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't have knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't have knowledge, you cannot help.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
so for me to be able to have these conversations and bring in people that have the knowledge so that we can be empowered, so that we're not just pushing people to the side because they act different.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I am with this particular platform and with talking about such things as suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, the only thing I learned or knew about suicide was that it was a sin.
Mm-hmm.
It was a sin to kill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
That
Mm-hmm.
was the only thing that I really remember growing up
mhm,
about suicide. Did I
Mm-hmm.
know people that committed suicide? I can't say that I did,
Mm-hmm.
or even heard about it. So in my adulthood, of course, I hear about it
Right.
in my adulthood. But in my childhood, I didn't. The only thing that I knew when I heard that word was that it was a sin because thou shalt not kill.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was a sin that would, take you to hell because you didn't have time to repent from it, that
Hmm.
sort of thing. So, so now when we get into it, what I love is that we're able to now in adulthood, we're able to kind of talk about these things. I love that mental health is coming more and more to the forefront, especially in our community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, especially in our community, because that's a taboo subject. We just didn't talk about that. So what I wanna start with is um Ms. Clinton, if
Mm-hmm.
you could, what are the or do you have statistics on what it's looking like is it rate is the rate going up? Is it going down? Where kind of are we with suicide?
Right. So I don't have current up to date statistics, and I do
Sure.
apologize about not having that. The suicide rate, especially in our community, has started creeping up more because
Okay.
now we're talking about it. Now people are now it's more in the forefront, where before it was like you said, it was a hidden thing. You know, if cousin Bobby took his life, you didn't say it's just, oh, like you said, oh well, he died, and you don't hear
Mhm.
anything else about it. You don't know what
Mhm.
happened. You just know, well, he died. You know,
Mhm.
or if they you know, or they had an accident. In my community circuit, it was like, oh well, she had an accident, and so you were left like, what kind of accident? And
Mhm.
so the prevalence of suicide in our community is growing, but it's being exposed more because we're now talking about it more,
Mhm.
and we are getting helping people to understand that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay
Mhm.
if you talk about it, because we have to say, if you're feeling some type of way, you don't have to keep it stuffed inside. You don't have, because again, if you've ever had an overstuffed bag, if you keep
Mm.
stuffing it, pretty soon the
It pops.
contents ooze out. It
Yeah.
pops. It pops out. So our bodies are not meant to keep those things inside. Our
Mm.
bodies are meant to purge that. And so the more we stuff, it comes out. Even though you may not know it comes out, it does come out. And so what we're seeing is we're hoping, and really, really hoping and trying, especially, and I just commend you so much, Miss Lisa, for having this platform, because we need to let people know that it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to say, I'm feeling some kind of way, I'm not feeling right. And so when we do that, not that we're saying we're normalizing it, but what we're doing is we're making avenues. We're
Mm.
creating avenues for people to feel safe to
Mhm.
come and talk to someone, to say, hey, this has been on my mind.
Mhm.
Now, with that understanding, we're not going to save everybody. There are some people, when they have their minds made up, their minds are made up,
Mhm.
and there's nothing you can do about that.
Mhm.
But for those who we can reach and touch by saying, listen, we are here, there is help. And with that, I'll give a real quick shout out. If you are in need, if you need someone to talk to, uh, there's a national suicide hotline, 988. Just like we dial 911. The
Mhm.
national suicide hotline and crisis hotline is 988, and there is always someone there staffed to talk with you, and they will connect you to people in the community, in your community, to talk to. But they will talk to you right then and there, and they will get you the help that you need right then and there. So there is ready help and available help. So hopefully that helps. But yeah, the statistics in our community we're noticing it more because we're talking about it more. I hope that helps to answer your question.
Absolutely. It absolutely does. I want to give way at this time to
Can I add something before you give way?
absolutely.
I just want to point out too, not only because we often, the mindset of people, when we think about suicide, I know for me, sometimes my mind goes towards the adults. But I also want to point out that amongst our community, we've also seen an uptick for the youth for
Mm.
dying by suicide. They've now changed the term. It's no longer committed suicide, but it's die by suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so that we can be sensitive, and things of that nature, towards the people that have gone
Mm-hmm.
on in this manner. But there was a book I read. I don't recall the name of it right now, but I read it, I think it was last year, where we are seeing more youth
Yes.
die by suicide due
Mm-hmm.
to, pressure, self-esteem, social media, all that stuff plays a role in this. So I just wanted to mention that.
Oh, that's very good. Even with um the word change.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Words have so much power.
Mm-hmm.
And when
Mhm.
you just said removing commit to
Mm-hmm.
die
Mhm.
by,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
it takes some of that
The
The
stigma.
stigma.
blame,
Mm-hmm. The
Mhm.
blame. You're right.
Right. The
Mm-hmm.
blame.
Mm-hmm.
the blame.
Mm-hmm.
And just imagine the pressure of the blame.
Right.
Even if you even when we talk about it and say their attempts failed,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and so we would say they tried to commit, and then that
Mm-hmm.
just adds more blame and weight,
Mm-hmm.
especially if their attempt failed.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh my goodness, I never really thought about the wording and
Mm-hmm.
that's really didn't think about that. So my sister is on, and I know she has, well, I'll let her tell her story.
um, dealing with this issue. I've tried on several occasions to commit suicide. I've taken a bunch of pills. It didn't work. I drove my van into a large body of water. But Jacksonville Sheriff's Office had a truck hooked up and jerked me right back out. Um, and then once again, I took a bunch of pills and everything. And I think for me, it was pressure. 2020, 2011, 2012, 2013. I had strokes back to back every year. My
Mm.
children were in elementary school. I got married in June of 2021, 2011, and I had my first stroke September of 2011.
Ooh.
So it was a whole lot. And when you go from being super mom, super wife, superwoman, to now having your elementary school children having to take care of you, your mom having to take care of you, your husband having to take care of you, the kids, and the house, you know, it's a lot. And my first time I took the pills because I felt like a burden, and I didn't want to be a burden. I felt like I would be better off. If my family did not have me, I wasn't doing no good. I wasn't no good to them no way. My first stroke, I was a master stroke. I was completely paralyzed on my right side. So I wasn't doing no good to nobody. So I felt like at the time that was the better way. Um, and I grew up in a house of prayer. That's prayer was always prayer and love. I say that was big in our house. But you get to a point where you don't want to pray. You don't want to talk to God because in my mindset was God already know. God already knew this was gonna happen. God allowed it to happen. What am I praying for? That was my mindset at the time. You know. So I mean, it just I didn't want to live anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work. So I got the help that I needed. I started seeing a therapist, got back on track and everything. And then the next time it was a Christmas. And my mom had went to go to, she was visiting Lisa and Lala for Christmas that year. And I was mad about that. I ain't gonna lie. I was mad. I used to get mad, you know, because I'm the baby. She's supposed to be with my kids. But anyway, but she was with them. Um, and I think my kids' dad and I had gone through it, and he had came and got the kids that day. A whole lot happened that day, and I took my van and I drove it into a body of water, nose first. I felt a jerk on my van, did not know what it was because I cut my phone off. I didn't send those, how some people they send those notes and they put those posts on Facebook and oh, it was nice knowing everybody, or stuff like I didn't do none of that.
You actually did.
Which one? Which time?
You sent mommy a text,
Yeah, but I
or
said I ain't put
you
it
know
on social
that's how
media.
we
I
found
know
you.
yeah, I said I ain't do social media. That's what I said. Yeah, I knew I did that part, but I didn't do that. I didn't broadcast it like that. But I was not expecting. Um, I don't want to say I wasn't expecting my mom to take me seriously, but I just knew it would be easy to get past her honesty. Mama, she's not gonna feed into it, so we'll be okay. I can go ahead and just do this because I was done. And once again, T-Mobile had find my phone, and they found my phone, and they able to give me. I was Baker acted. Um, and that was a very humbling experience. Um, the third time I tried, once again, it's just like it just when you're that go-to person that everybody goes to, everybody comes and talks to me about their problems. Everybody, I'm the life of the party. I'm that person. So I don't get to, Alicia, you said you were talking about this Sunday in church. I don't get to have a breakdown. I don't get to cry. I don't get to do any of that because I got people that I know that are dependent on me that's gonna come to me with their problems. So I don't get to do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
And like Miss Clinton said, when you get so much and so much, that bag busts.
Mm-hmm.
It busts, and that's what happened. Um, because I always felt like I was a burden.
Mm-hmm.
So people say, "Oh, you'll be hurting your kids if you leave," and this, that, and the third. Well, I felt like I was doing a good job for them.
Mm-hmm.
My kids were in elementary school when I had these strokes. In middle school when I had these strokes, they shouldn't have had to take care of me. They come home from school, they running to take care of their mom, and they enjoyed it. My mama didn't have to say, "Well, go downstairs and do so and so." They did it. They were excited to do it, but they appeared to be, I guess, And we're talking about it now, and they said they love doing it. But I felt as though I was a burden.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because I was that go-to person, I didn't have anybody. I felt like I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have anybody to vent to. That one go run their mouth to somebody else and all that. Because I don't like that. That irks my nerves. That really irks my nerves. And so, it's a struggle. Even when my mom passed, um, it's crazy. I wanted to be with her, but I didn't want to die. I know that sounds crazy. I wanted to go with my mom, but I didn't want to die.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to go when we left I wanted to stay there with her. But I did not want to die.
Mm-hmm.
What got me over the suicide thoughts and got me over that, it was nothing but prayer. That's it. There wasn't no medication. It wasn't because and after I had my first stroke, they put me on antidepressants, a bunch of them,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that stuff. It makes you numb, and that's not good. That's not good because when something really hits you, it's gonna hit you hard because you've been numb all this time to it. So I've been numb to stuff. So I didn't like that. So it took prayer. It took um me getting my mind right to get my health better.
Mm-hmm.
Me getting my mind right to want better for myself. Because after I realized that, I'm a burden, I'm this, I'm that to people. That's how I felt. But Tasha, why are you a burden? What are you doing that made yourself the burden? What are you doing that made this happen?
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped talking to counselors. I stopped going to therapy because I was the type of person, I don't want to talk to nobody who haven't been when I've been through. I don't feel like you can help me. And I may be wrong. This is just me. I don't want to talk to you. You ain't been what I've been through. So I don't want to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped going to therapy. But, well, LaTasha, well, what? So I stopped going.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on a me journey. And because I wasn't one to broadcast my problems, it was kind of hard to find people who have been what I've been through because I wasn't going to tell it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was probably around 2017. 2017, I was on life support for about 6 days, I think they said. And after that, I went to my cousin Chuck. He's a pastor. And I went to his church and he preached his sermon and he talked about giving the rated G version of your testimony. And he was saying, we got to stop giving the rated G version of our testimony.
Mm-hmm.
And for that for me, that was a defining moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a live some years back, kind of telling my testimony. And the number of responses I got of people who I thought I knew, who had been through some of the same stuff I had been through, didn't even know it.
Mm.
And so a lot of that helped me along the way. A lot of that helped me along the way. So being able to be vocal about the things that I've been through also helped. With medical stuff, with alcoholism, it helped. It helped being able to talk about it. Because like you said, it wasn't some of this mental health wasn't talked about. I didn't know nothing about mental health. You just know so and so just crazy. That's it. That was crazy. That's it.
She about to make me preach.
Have at it.
Because the Bible says we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony.
Right.
So if we're not giving our testimony, how are we overcoming?
Yeah.
And another part of that is we are bought with a price. Therefore, it's not ours to keep.
Right.
We belong now to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is how we share and we reach back and we strengthen our brethren.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to gain strength if we're not opening our mouth and we're not being vulnerable about the things that we're dealing with and going through?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
But I mean, and that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That is the truth. I hid from a lot of stuff because I was ashamed. I wasn't ashamed. I honestly did not want to embarrass my mama. I did not want to embarrass my mama. But like when I was dealing with alcoholism,
you didn't want to embarrass your mama. What do you mean by that?
Dealing with alcoholism, because I had it bad. I had it bad. But I left that part out of my testimony. I only told the health part.
Okay.
About the strokes and that. That's all I ever talked about.
So you're still covering.
So I still covered that part because I didn't want nobody to know PJK daughter was alcoholic.
Okay.
But once again, after my cousin preached that sermon, it was like, listen, this is who I am. This is who I was.
Right.
And I'm working to do better. It was a lot of things, like I said, that I was just ashamed of because I didn't want to embarrass my mama, which is why I kept a lot of stuff inside and only spoke on the health issues.
I see.
I dropped out of high school in my senior year of high school. I was supposed to graduate that May. I dropped out January 12th because I turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up having to go back and get my GED. I think that was 2011. I think that was probably before I had my stroke. Before I had the first stroke. My son was up studying with me the night before in elementary school. Studying. So it was a lot of stuff I left out. Because because I'm the baby. Everybody else graduated from high school, graduated from college, got careers, I didn't have any of that. So I tried to keep a low profile. I only talked about my health.
Okay.
But being able to talk about it and everything has afforded me the opportunity not even to have suicidal thoughts. I get to a point now, if something happens, it just happens. It's just, I guess I've seen God bring me through so much. It's like, okay, well, I mean, Ty Tribbett got a song. If he did it before, he gonna do it again.
Right.
That's just the way I look at it. And so, and I tell people that all the time. If he did it before, he'll do it again, girl. It'll be all right. My kids say I'm being nonchalant. I said, no, y'all have seen firsthand what God do. Firsthand.
Right.
So I don't stress like I used to. I used to be bad at it. But I don't do it anymore. I don't. And like I said, I don't take any of the antidepressant medications anymore. Don't do the counseling. Don't do any of that. I just deal with it. And I'm okay with it.
And that works a little bit for you. But but also everybody has to find like their own journey.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It's not gonna work for everybody. Everybody can't say this is what works. oh, let me try what LaTasha tried. No, that might not work for you, baby.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
might not work for you. You have
That's
to
what we
find what
call
works for
being
you, but don't stop. Don't stop trying to find out
okay.
what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
Don't
that's the
stop
thing.
trying.
Right. That's the
And that's
thing.
what's called being self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
And in my professional opinion, self-aware and self-care, those are two major keys for
Mm-hmm.
prevention for suicide.
Right.
Because when you become self-aware, you know your stressors. You know when your heart rate gets up, oh, I might need to step back. You know what I'm saying? Like, or your blood pressure, things like that. You're being self-aware. So you're knowing I might need to pull back. And then I might need to go do some self-care. I might need to go work out to alleviate my stress. I might need to go do, whatever you do, make sure, you're getting proper sleep. Your sleep hygiene is good. Things like that. If your sleep is becoming interrupted and you're getting up every 3 hours, that's an indicator.
Mm-hmm.
So just knowing yourself, like, and thank you so much, Miss LaTasha, for sharing your story. It is very powerful. Keep on
Mm-hmm.
sharing because you're helping people. But you become self-aware. You know what works for you. And so that's a part of the key. Knowing what works for you. You say you don't go to counseling. That don't work for you. You know what I'm saying? Like different things work for different people, but that's a part of
Mm-hmm.
being self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Knowing and getting in tune with your body.
And I
For
stay
me,
away from
Say more on
triggers.
that.
I
start
don't
Speak
like
more
sleeping
on
late,
that.
triggers.
getting up at night,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's an
speak more on
indicator.
that.
Something's
Speak
going
more
on.
on getting into with your body. Speak
Yeah.
more on that.
Yeah. Getting in tune, just
Mm-hmm.
knowing who you are.
Right.
Yeah,
Paying attention to your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Exactly.
What are you thinking at that moment? Okay, why am I
Right.
thinking that?
Right.
You know,
yeah.
being practicing, mindfulness,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
separating
Mm-hmm.
yourself when
Mm-hmm.
you start, getting worked up or sweating, whatever the, things
Mm-hmm.
are. And then removing yourself, taking breaks at work, making sure you're taking breaks. You're going,
Mm-hmm.
taking lunch breaks, you're going for a walk, whatever it is you need to do.
Exactly.
Um, being self-aware is a crucial part.
I agree. Right.
And
Getting
then
getting
self-care.
right.
I've
Yes.
been
Self-care.
compassion
Yes.
fatigued.
Mm-hmm.
But it took a good friend of mine, have an accountability partner. She
Yes.
looked at me and she said, this is what she said, I'd never forget it. And it was a red flag. She said, April, you're pale. Now y'all see the color I am.
Mm.
She told me I was pale.
Mm.
And she went further to say, she said, I immediately started praying for you because you were losing life.
Mm.
I was like a zombie.
Wow.
And, Lisa knows me probably, better than you two, but she, I like to dress. I'm gonna dress, I'm gonna be, on point. And it was so bad I didn't even realize I was rotating two outfits.
Mm.
Wow.
Two outfits. And
Wow.
just showing up zombified. I was doing everything for everybody else,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
but I was not taking care of me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I had to come to the point where I chose me. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't having any type of suicidal ideations, but I probably was on my way there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But I did, when she said that, my friend said that, I stepped back. I took off work and I took care of me. I started saying no. I stopped answering the phone, whatever I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm in a different state with that, where I'm more in tune with my body. So
Mm-hmm.
I know, okay, I need to back up.
Right.
I need to take a break.
Right.
And I have a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
It is of my opinion. And of course, I'm a therapist. Every therapist needs a therapist. That's just my
Exactly. Exactly.
2 cents, because I need somebody to pour into me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly pouring out. I need the reciprocation.
Exactly.
And so that's my
Right. And I echo that 1,000%. You do need to be aware of yourself. Know who you are. Know what your flags are. Know what your red flags are. Start learning who you are and seeing who you are. And trust the people who know you. Trust them to say, like your friend said, you're pale. But she knew you well enough to be able to see that something was off and that you were not being yourself. And so to bring that to light and then taking a moment to step back, no is a complete sentence. No,
It
period.
is.
No,
It is a
I
very
learned,
complete
that's
sentence.
what I learned in elementary. No is a complete sentence. And
It is.
so we sometimes think that we have to be the super. And I heard Miss LaTasha say you were the superwoman. You were the go-to
Yeah.
person. But the go-to person needs a go-to person. We need a go-to person. And I'm like, I'm just the same with Miss April. I have a therapist because they're pastors have pastors. Okay. I was just wondering. I just checking. Just checking.
Yep.
Okay. So pastors can have pastors, but okay. I'm not going to touch that. But anyway, we need to be able, and it's like Miss Latasha said, what works for you, that worked for you. You tried it. You did, but you gave it a try. The thing is, you gave it a try. You did go down that path. And then you found what worked best for you. And for others, it's finding a way to talk with someone. And so being self-aware and self-care, definitely. And self-care is not just, going and getting a massage or just going, getting your nails done or just getting a pedicure. No, it's a little bit more than that. Taking time to sit with yourself. Can you enjoy yourself? Can you enjoy being alone with you? Can you take you? What can you do for you to empower you? Have you taken yourself out? Do you know who you are? That's part of learning that, because then when you learn who you are, then you know how to give and what to give, and then you know what not to. You know how to create boundaries.
Boundaries, yep.
You know how to create boundaries. And so if we're talking about, again, this is National Suicide Awareness Month. We're talking about let's look at how we can take away the stigma of getting with someone. How do we do that? Well, find someone who you know can keep your confidence, can hold space for you. Find that person, and it may be the person you least expect, but that would be the person who will say, I've been wondering what was going on, and they know that they're not going to give it to anyone else.
Exactly. And that's what I had to do.
Exactly.
I had to find that person.
Exactly, because you said I didn't know who could I talk to that I felt comfortable.
I didn't, because I had so much bottled up. It's like I don't want to, and then I don't want you to go tell somebody that know my family, and then it spread like wildfire, and then it's a whole nother segment. So I don't. It was easier for me just not to even talk about it. Not to even.
But interestingly enough, LaTasha, your family knew, because there are people that know you that you can't hide everything from. You may not have been telling folks, but there were signs, and as we get into the prevention part of it,
right,
there were signs that we saw that and even times we even said to you, because I've had a few good conversations with you, and while we think we're hiding, there are people that know. But what happens sometimes is we may say something, and because you just, you don't, it doesn't seep in.
Because you're in your own space. You're in a cocoon.
You think you got this thing all together, and you done hid all of this stuff. And I think the part of especially family, and I can only speak for our family, right? Oh my God, I hate these moments sometimes of transparency. So there is a age gap between LaTasha and my sibling that's right next to me. So we were 11, 12 when Tasha came along. So needless to say, we was not happy about my mama being pregnant with another baby. But then that thing got here, and we was like, oh my God, she's so cute. And then she turned into Tasha.
And did. Indeed.
But sometimes you do need somebody that is outside of family, because a family dynamic is a little different, especially when what a sibling is doing, we see it hurting a parent. And so the siblings will try to talk to each other or try to help, and we'll see that that behavior is not changing. And then sometimes we'll kind of just wash our hands of it, which is not good, right?
Right.
But sometimes you're too close to that. And so you do need, I encourage people to surround themselves with good people. Like April, your friend, we're talking about prevention. Your friend helped you get out of that. And so we have to take the time to notice, and not just notice, because she could have just noticed and not said anything.
Right.
Because she could have felt like that ain't my business. Right? So we have to take the time to notice behavioral changes in my mind, notice physical changes, and have the courage to say something instead of that ain't really my business.
Right.
And I think even with our coworkers, because we don't know what people go through in life, especially if they don't tell us, don't talk about it. But because we are inquisitive human beings, we can see some stuff.
Right. We can.
We could see some stuff. And even if we don't, and in talking about prevention, even if we don't feel comfortable going to that person, maybe we should start seeking out someone that we know is close to that person and saying, you know what, can you check on so and so and so?
I think that culture plays a lot into that as well. I'm sorry, I know I've overspoke you. But you know, we as an African American community, you know, if you go back in time, it's like, you know, what goes on in the house stays in the house.
That part.
So then we have that mindset where we don't need to talk. You know, and I think a part, you know, and then, you know, this space and creating awareness that that's not necessarily the right thing to do. Some things we do need to talk about.
Right.
You know, and we just, and I think, you know, you know, and I'm grateful again for this platform, because that's one of the things I say a barrier that needs to be broken. Because a lot of African American families, we have that about us, that we're not going to talk because
absolutely
right.
Go sit down, you know, we're not talking about that. You know?
Right. And it's like you said, one of the things you said earlier is with our younger people, that's where we do have to make the connection to make sure that they understand it's okay to come and talk. Do we create a pathway for them to talk to us? Do we create a pathway where we're not stigmatizing them, where they can feel like they can come and talk to us about whatever it is? You know, if I can't come and talk to LaTasha, but maybe I can talk to Lisa, because maybe, you know, man, I don't know. I can't talk to LaTasha because she gonna. But then Lisa has created, and it's again creating a pathway with me where I can go over to her and say, Auntie Lisa, you know, I've been thinking about something. Can I talk to you? We have to be able to create whatever those pathways are, and not demonize folk for wanting to talk about things and wanting to come to us, and then making the time to talk to them. The generations that we're growing up with now, the generations that are growing up now, they are different. They are bombarded with so many things.
Oh my goodness, so much.
Consistently comparing the, you know, the shoe, the hair, you know, the body image, you know, people are dying, cutting themselves up. How you are 13. Why is it that you want to go have surgery to augment your body because of whatever is going on? And that leads to, a cry for help. So then what else is happening here? So again, part of prevention is making a safe space, space for them to come and talk to whoever that is, without fear of judgment, retribution, or being outed. A safe space. Now, and I will give a caveat. However, now, if you're gonna hurt yourself, you need to make sure we get you some help right away.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's right.
we need to get you there right away.
Yeah.
But
I
again,
think
having that open space so they feel comfortable coming to talk to you is important for younger than us people, because they are facing stuff. I can tell you, they're facing stuff that I never had to face. I didn't have to face. I didn't have to face that. I didn't have to face being put on social media by somebody who doesn't know me and me and calling me names. And I'm just in the third grade. I'm in the third grade, and because we've seen young people as young as 6 and 7 and 8 take their own lives.
Their lives.
Yep.
What is happening?
Yeah. It's interesting that you bring that up, because I think about growing up. I remember a bra or a panty commercial, right? You just saw the bra and the panty commercial. You just saw the bra. You didn't see anybody in it.
Right.
You didn't, and now it's like you see everything.
Everything.
And we have given children devices that they can, we don't know what they're doing on them.
Right.
Nope.
They just got a device.
Right.
And so they are inundated with so much stuff.
Yep.
And on top of that, we don't talk to them about what they see.
Right. And we
So
don't go and look at what they see.
How are they processing that I'm seeing breasts, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that, I'm seeing the other, and nobody's talking to me about what I'm seeing.
Right. Or checking
or
checking to see, like you said, what I'm seeing.
Or how
monitoring
do I handle this? How do I handle seeing this makes me feel?
Right.
Whether it's excitement, whether it's sadness, whether it's whatever.
Right.
And even down to the video games of shoot 'em ups and blood and this and that and the other, to now I'm almost in some ways desensitized by other stuff that go on in real life.
Right. Right.
But no, they have all of this, and they're so exposed to everything. But
everything.
We have not, as an adult generation, and I'm not saying everybody, but just in general, taking the time to say, oh, well, let me see what you're looking at, or even talking about, well, okay, how did you feel about whatever? We just think, children ought to be seen and not heard. So as long as you over there not bothering me, then I'm fine.
You're okay.
It's far from the truth.
It's the new babysitter.
It's the new babysitter.
It's to keep quiet. I remember, and I've said this before. You cannot develop your full brain potential if you are always occupied.
Exactly.
Your imagination, your creativity, it doesn't have time to work or flourish or critical thinking skills, because you always got your mind occupied.
Right.
I remember sitting in church. We didn't have no devices, but you had to keep your mouth shut. I learned how to use my imagination, because I am a talker. And I can't talk.
You and me both.
Get in trouble. Can you imagine? And I'm a talker. Even at 5 years old, I'm a talker. But I got to stay quiet. I had to learn how to use my imagination.
Exactly. Exactly. And
we need more of those restaurants that have. There are a couple of restaurants, I don't remember the names of them, but you can't have your device out when you're there eating. You have to communicate with who you came with.
Love it.
You remember how in some families, you would sit down at the dinner table, kitchen talk, CTC. I'm just saying, right?
Right.
We're going to talk. We're going to have a conversation.
Right.
We're not going to be on the phone.
Right.
We're going to actually talk to each other.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a lot of it too. When we're talking about that, the isolation, it's the overexposure, but so isolated.
So isolated.
Exposure to everything, but totally isolated. Cannot hold a conversation. Cannot. 6 of y'all are sitting at the same table texting each other. No sound.
Right.
All 6 of you are sitting at the same table, and everybody's on a device. And so we wonder why people's minds are cluttered with thoughts of
yeah.
okay. So again, understanding that we've got to do more than just that. It cannot be all electronic. But then again, we have to provide space for folk. We have to let people know where there is safety, where they can talk, whether someone in the family or outside the family that's not going to violate in any way.
Right.
But help them and give them the help that they need, especially if they are at a critical stage. So again, we have to think beyond just the normal. Like, I love that you said what stays in this house, what happens in this house stays in the house. We got to blow that up. We got to get rid of that. We have got to get rid of that, because so many people have lost their lives because what happens in this house stays in this house, and now we don't know, and now they're gone because they didn't have so who do I talk to about the way I'm feeling? I feel all this doom and gloom, but I have nobody to talk to. I feel this heavy burden, and I don't understand why I'm feeling this heavy burden. But I can't go to mama, too busy. I can't go to daddy too busy. Or I can't go to a nana or grandma or big mama. Who do I talk to? Who do I talk to? So being able to have helping all people understand that there are avenues, there are places, there are safe spaces where you can talk with someone about what's going on. You don't have to keep it siloed. You do not have to keep it siloed. So we have to look at prevention, especially in our community. We have to provide safe spaces. And then with that, we have to be able to come to where they are.
Yeah.
How do we give them access?
Yeah.
Yep.
How do we give them out? I want to talk to somebody, but I got to, you want me to what? I got to pay what? How much?
Yeah.
Right. So we have to be cognizant that too. I want to talk to somebody, but EAP is only going to give me 3 sessions. Come on now, we got to do better than that.
Yeah.
We got to do better than that. Yep. So again, we want to make sure that if we're talking about prevention, we have to give them access to let them know where they can go and talk to someone. Right. Where if they're having an issue in the workplace, who do I trust? Am I going to lose my job? Am I going to lose my job? If I go talk to somebody to say, I feel like I'm going to explode because I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. What do I do? And they don't have any steps. They don't have the steps to know what to do. I got all this work. I got all this pressure. I got pressure. Have no idea where to go and what to do. Don't know never heard of 4 square breathing. Right. Don't know anything about it. How to reset, because it resets your brain.
Deep breathing. Yeah.
Yes. It's deep. It's one of my faves. Deep breathing. I love deep breathing because it gives opportunity to reset. Yeah. And not that. That's not deep. I don't know what that is. Yeah. But that's not. Yeah. That's not it. Are you getting ready to go die?
That's panic.
You hyperventilate. What you doing?
So, exactly.
Right. So think about if a lot of agencies that we go to are workplaces. If their supervisor was minimally trained on some of this stuff.
Right.
To know how to direct people.
Right.
These are the type of things we need.
Right.
Yeah.
In place.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I wanted to add too, you mentioned 988. Yes. There's also the 988 Lifeline org where you can do a live chat. People can do live chat as well.
Right. Right. But we have to put it out there. We cannot leave people without resources.
You said 988.org.
It's 988 lifeline.org. 24/7.
And you have live chat. People are there to talk with you. Any hour of the night. That's the other thing. Any hour of the day or night, there's always someone there. Yes, the National Suicide Hotline. Exactly. That's exactly. So again, there are, and then too, do we help our community know where resources are, right, so that they can get the help that they need? Are we having so in our churches, are we talking about this?
Right.
Yes.
Are we having a mental health Sunday or a health
Yes,
Sunday?
we are. I can speak for SG. I'm SG1.
Okay.
Primitive Baptist Church, where the elder Lenars D. McFadden is the apostle / pastor teacher.
I love it. And we
We
do the
will be doing
same. We
something
do the
actually
same.
on this Sunday.
And
Yes.
we at Crown Church of Orlando, Pastors
Yes.
Duma and Emily Alphonse heavily believe in mental health. We have a
Yes.
whole month where we highlight all areas of
Yes.
health.
I love
Physical
it.
health, emotional health, mental health, nutrition, all of it.
Yeah.
Because it's important. It is important. So again, we have to know if you're talking about, Miss Lisa, you talked about prevention. Well, here are the things. These are the steps to prevention. The very first thing is let them know that they are not alone.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
You're not alone. Miss LaTasha, did you feel isolated and alone even though you were amongst all these folk?
Where tonight?
Family, did you ever feel? You said you felt like a burden.
During that time.
During that time.
I can't say that I did.
Okay.
I didn't feel alone, as I just felt like I knew all these people loved me. I knew all of that.
Mhm.
I just could not talk. I chose not to talk. Trying to get out of saying I couldn't talk to, because I probably could have.
Mhm.
I chose not to
talk. Right. Right.
because I did not want judgment.
There
Because
it
that was
is.
going to set me off. I don't take judgment well, because you're not going to judge me, because then I'm going to call you out. Then it's going to turn into a scream. And that may not have happened. But to keep it from happening, I just better not talk to you.
Right. But is it that you had seen that happen somewhere?
I mean,
Yeah.
part of that probably came from just the family dynamic.
We all have that.
Yeah, the family dynamic. I know that that I have definitely talked to Tasha from a place of I'm thinking I'm helping, but also from a place of tough love that that I learned from wherever, and thinking that it's helping, but also I'm sure at that time it had some undertone of judgment because I know your family stock, because I am have a spirit of discernment. I know who you are, and I know you're not living up to that.
Okay.
And so sometimes we do, not intentionally,
right,
but we
right.
do.
Right.
And it's like this version of, okay, girl, get up and get yourself together. That sort of thing.
Right.
Because Tasha is so smart, charismatic, and she has and you have, LaTasha, so much potential that at the time, sitting where I'm sitting and looking out, you're not living up to, and I know who you are.
Right.
And so you do, and that comes from, I think, sometimes just being too close as a family member, and not knowing, not having the tools to encourage without the pressure or without judgment.
Right.
Which is why it's good to have a therapist.
Exactly. Because we're judgment
one
free
that you can trust.
Right.
Yeah.
When it works for you, we're a judgment free zone.
When it works for you. Yeah.
I understand. And that is very true. That is very true. My therapists, they were excellent listeners. They were they were I mean, they were good people. It just, like I said, it just didn't work for me.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I don't understand how you can help me process something, how you can help me with this, and you've never been through it. Therapy works wonders for people. I have seen it work for people,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but everybody's different.
Right.
Mhm.
And
that's
like,
true.
I don't remember. I don't remember. I think both of you, ladies, said it that all avenues need to be open.
Right.
All
Definitely.
avenues need to be offered.
Mm-hmm.
People need to know if you don't go to a therapist, go to somebody.
Yeah. Go to a
Right.
pastor.
Find
Right.
somebody to
Right.
talk to.
Somebody you
Find
trust.
somebody.
So,
Right.
Tasha,
Yeah.
can I ask you this question?
As long as you want the
Because,
answer.
well, yeah, I'm fine with the answer. You know what? I ain't got no. Anyway, see, this is what happened when you got your sister on the.
Right.
So I hear you. I hear you saying, if you haven't been through what I've been through, what can you, how can you help me?
Mhm.
But could it have been at that time that you didn't really want that kind of help?
Hmm.
Mm.
No, I didn't like where I was. But I wanted somebody who had been through what I'm going through to tell me how they got through it. That's what I needed help with that. I
Okay.
Oh,
needed
okay.
somebody
I see.
whose husband walked out on them. I needed somebody to tell me how to get through that. I
Okay.
needed somebody who's lost their children. I needed
Mhm.
somebody to tell me how to get through that. Not what you would do. I need to know what you did.
Okay.
Mm,
I get that. I
So
okay.
get
I wanted to help. I did not
Yeah,
like feeling the way I felt. I
that.
didn't like any of it.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But I chose
yeah,
not to open my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
I asked that question because um what I'm learning about, well, what I know about myself and what I'm opening up to is I learned I learned that I am definitely a very private, keep to
Ah.
myself person, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Okay.
Very.
Thank you. Thank you.
For
Thank
41 years, I know.
you. What I learned, and probably just from the generation ahead of me, is I'm always going to put my best foot forward.
Mm-hmm.
What I know about myself is if I can't come out and give you the wonderful, bubbly, sunshiny Lisa, then I don't come out until that happens.
I see.
What I have been working through and on through the nudging of the Lord. Everybody know I'm a Christian. I don't hide that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Is that is not serving me well,
Right. Right.
That's right.
and that um, also the things that I go through are not just for me,
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Right.
Right.
That's it. That's
Exactly.
it.
and
Exactly.
That's it.
yeah, and
Exactly.
so even with just my family,
Mm-hmm.
um, and my sisters and
Mm-hmm.
siblings, I they are not like, you know, I think Tasha told me that, her kids they respect me in such a way that, yeah, they be like, mm-mm.
They don't play with Auntie Lisa at all. No jokes, no jokes, no laughter, no nothing. Nothing at all. But Lisa does not present herself as mean. Lisa does not present herself like that. But they do not play with Lisa at
Oh,
all.
Wow.
And I'm
And
thinking,
and the same Lisa, and this is Lisa, the nice bubbly Auntie Lisa, but they don't play with Lisa. They do not.
and so when I ask that question, I'm thinking like, um, you know, I have nothing against therapy. I actually have been looking kind of for a therapist, especially
Mm-hmm.
to help me deal with the loss of my mom, just that
Mm-hmm.
grief.
Yes.
I didn't know
yeah.
what grief really
Mm-hmm.
did to you
Mm.
in that way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I've reached out a couple of times that didn't quite
Mm-hmm.
work out, and
Okay.
I'll try again at some point.
Good.
Um,
Please do.
But I do have people in my life that I can talk to. I have people that I know will look at me and be like, something ain't right, you know, whatever.
That's
And so
good.
that's good. That is very good. It is very helpful. But through these processes, I am I am learning that in all type, not just suicide prevention, but to help keep you from depression, to help
Mhm.
Yes.
you from
Yes.
some
Mhm.
anxieties, to
Yes.
Mhm.
keep your mind kind of regulated.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we are not careful, there are things that will try to take your mind out of
That's
here.
right.
Yes, it will. Yes,
That
it
is
will.
correct.
And we have to say that. We have to help people understand there are you think about what you're thinking about. Do
Yeah,
you think about
Right.
what you're thinking about?
Your thoughts.
yeah,
What
Say that one more
Mhm.
time.
think about what you're
Think
thinking about.
about what you're
Yep.
thinking about.
Self-awareness.
yeah,
Right. Think about what
yeah,
you're
That's
thinking
that's
about.
it right there.
yeah.
Because
And
again, you have to know how to channel those thoughts and get rid of the ones that are taking you down a dark
mhm,
path,
Wrong.
a
mhm,
dark
That's it.
place. And then why
mhm,
do you keep ruminating on it? How do I get
mhm,
out of that? So yeah,
mhm,
you have to be able to, your mind is the key.
mhm,
Mhm.
Your mind is the key.
mhm.
Mhm.
We know that. We know
Yeah,
that again, battlefield of the mind.
yeah. And then
Mhm.
those things begin to manifest in your body as well.
In your body.
And
Exactly.
I
Yes.
think
Yep.
It sure will.
that is the thing that I don't think we talk enough about either. So
Right.
all of this stuff, I remember saying to someone the other day about keeping your grief inside and
Mm,
not wanting to cry and not wanting to do this.
You got to
It
release.
reminded me of um it reminded me of having a chest cold
mm.
and how you have to cough that mucus up and get it
Yep.
out of your body.
Yeah.
Right. You do.
And if you don't, you end up with pneumonia. So
Exactly.
I've had pneumonia twice.
Mm.
Um, first time as a child, the next time as an adult, because I did not know how to, excuse me, y'all, hack and spit,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
And so that mucus just stayed in my chest
Mm.
until it became pneumonia and bronchitis, and I had to be hospitalized.
Mm.
That to
Mhm.
me in that moment is what grief does
Mhm.
if you do
Mhm.
not let yourself cry it out.
Right.
Whatever you need to do to get
Right.
it out, it begins
Mhm.
to sit in your body
Right.
and it
Mm-hmm.
begins to manifest in other
It
ways.
sure
That's
will.
right.
It
Also,
manifests.
understand,
Understand the
Miss
release.
Lisa, grief is lifelong.
Yeah,
There's no
I'm
It's
prescription.
learning.
lifelong.
It's
I am
lifelong.
learning
It's a
that
Yeah.
too.
lifelong thing.
I
Yeah.
am learning
It's a
that too.
lifelong thing. There's just
Yeah.
not okay after 6 months you should be done. That no, it's lifelong. There will be
Yeah,
moments where you're going to
and
be
I'm so
fine.
glad that
Yes,
I
it's
learned that
lifelong.
lesson a little early on,
Hmm.
because I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, let me just get through the funeral and let me just get
Right.
through this, and I'm gonna
Right.
feel. And I learned that lesson early on that
Right.
it is I remember when we first started with COVID and talked about the new normal. This is a new normal.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
To
Right.
live
Yes.
without that person, to
Right.
live with grief. But I can say that that it's getting a little better,
Hmm.
so, so that
Mhm.
there is hope.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing is that when we
Hmm.
talk about prevention,
Right.
we need to find ways to help people with hope,
Yeah.
Hmm. Definitely.
to
Definitely.
help people with light,
Yes.
especially when we see darkness,
Darkness.
Right.
and not just pass it up,
Right.
not
Yeah.
just pass by it,
Right.
not just pass by it. I think as a human being,
Hmm.
we should be um just these carriers of hope and light
Mhm.
when
Hmm.
we can. And
Hmm.
when we can't, we need to seek out how we can find it again.
Agreed. We do need
I
to seek
agree.
out how we can find it again. And we do need to
Yeah.
be curious of hope and light,
Yep.
especially if we're saying we're of the household of faith.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Especially
See
if
something,
we're
say
saying,
something.
right. If you're
That's
in the
it right
household,
there,
there you go.
April.
See something, say
See
something.
something, say
See
something.
something, say something.
Say something. You got to. You got to.
Yeah.
You can't. Why are you playing around with it? You know.
Exactly.
So again,
And you don't want the blood on your hands.
right.
I'm just, I this is what I do. I start.
But I mean, that's real talk. You don't want
Yeah,
that.
it's true.
If I saw something was wrong with you and I didn't say anything, and then the next day I get a notification telling me you in the mental hospital or you committed suicide. I'm sorry,
There
what
you
is
go.
it? We're not using committed. What did we say? I want to be correct.
Right. See
Yeah.
something, say something.
See something, say something.
For real.
Yeah.
If my pastor sees me on the Sunday, my pastor know when I'm off.
Mm.
Yeah.
If I see my pastor, I say, Reb, you feeling all right today? Something is off.
Right.
Yeah.
There's another a lady in my church, Miss Jackson. She knows anytime. That's my angel girl. I call her my angel girl, but she know when something off. She will pick up the phone and say, "Look, girl, you all right?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking
And
about
you
that.
need
I don't
to.
be all right.
Yeah.
I don't be all right.
Yeah.
So I like see something, say something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you have no idea how much a touch. Just saying, sis, I'm just thinking about you, brother.
Yeah. Just shoot a text.
Right.
Pick up the
Just,
phone.
right. Pick up the phone. Just say, you you're on my mind. I didn't
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
anything.
I need
I
your
just want you to
voice.
know that, I
And
I
I
the
think
text I sent to
Miss
some a
April said it
person that
earlier.
came on my mind.
If
I'm sorry. The person that
go
came on
ahead,
my
I'm
mind,
sorry.
I said, I'm not calling you. I don't want anything from you, and I don't need anything from you. But I want you to know that I'm thinking about you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the smiley face that I got sent back
Mm-hmm.
was what
Yeah.
it was. It was
Yeah.
just exactly that.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them. I didn't want them to think, well, why is she calling me? What does she want from me?
Yeah. You
I
took
don't
away
want
the
anything
pressure.
from you, and I don't need anything from you. But I want you
Yeah.
to know I'm thinking about you, and I just
Yeah.
want you to know you're gonna be okay. That was it.
Yeah.
That's all I
Yeah.
said, and
Yeah.
that was the text, and I just
Yeah.
went on about my day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the kind of prevention we need to say. And I'm
Right.
sorry, Mr. Tasha,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I forgot what I was saying now.
I'm
That
sorry.
was good.
So so when we talk about prevention, I think it is helpful, and this is not from a clinical standpoint because I have no license. But I think from a prevention standpoint is we need to help people be seen
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and offer hope, encouragement,
Yeah.
and light.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. People need a community.
Right. They do need. You need a village. You need a
You need a
community.
village. It takes a village.
It does.
Yeah.
That's a true statement. That's a
Yeah.
true
Yeah.
statement, and especially for those who are battling grief. When you're battling grief, when you're battling depression, when you're battling anxiety, you need to know that
Anxiety,
there
all
are
those
others
things.
who are there to hold you, to
Yeah.
catch you,
Yeah.
that you're going to be
Yeah.
okay. That we're going to hold space with you and for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whether they're therapists like April and I, or whether they're just people in the community who just like Miss LaTasha said, your angel call you, say, "Look, girl, you all right?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she do that.
Miss LaTasha, she holding space for you. That's that hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that hope, and just
That's the
that.
hope.
Look at the smile on your face from thinking about
That
that.
lady.
That's what
That
that's
lady.
what it is,
I love her.
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what it is. So
That's
it's
strength. That's strengthening
being
your
human,
fellow brother and sisters.
right? It's being human to another human.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Being human.
Oh my God, this has been like the best conversation. And we have to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point.
Definitely got to do this again. I remember right before we came on the show, Miss Clinton and I, Miss Gwen, we were talking, and we were talking about how this time of the year starts
Yes.
Yeah.
to bother some people.
Right.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
starts to
Right.
Nearing the holidays.
lean on some insecurities, starts to
Right.
lean on some loneliness. It starts to
Right.
lean on,
Mm-hmm.
some different things.
Right.
And I do believe that having these types of conversations and sparking it helps.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
have definitely got to come back to Kitchen Talk.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Miss Lisa. This was so.
I love it.
This was
I love
fascinating.
it.
This
I
is
do
so
what
good.
I can for my
Thank you.
fans.
Yes, Auntie. Yes. I do not know. I'm going to call my guys and find out where they were tonight. I just don't know.
Yeah. Where were they?
I don't know.
I was expecting them.
But we definitely have to continue this conversation because it's so important that we help with the mental health, that we help with suicide prevention. Because there's so much life to live.
Yes.
But when you don't have the hope of that,
Right.
it does seem a little dismal.
Yeah.
It seems a little dismal, and that can be hard.
It can be.
That
So
can
be a
be
light.
hard.
Be a light.
So be a light.
Be that light.
Be a light. I want to thank
That salt in that
everybody.
light.
Yes, I want to thank everybody for your comments. I'm glad that you were engaged in the conversation. Appreciate you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Miss Gwen, so much for coming in. And when I say last minute, I mean last minute, but I certainly appreciate it.
Thank you, Miss April.
Thank you, April, so much for pulling Miss
No
Gwen
problem at all.
and for coming and joining me at such a late notice. And thank you, Torsha, for sharing with us.
Yes, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Thanks for sharing your story.
Sharing your story with us. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little nervous. I was like, oh my God, this child right here.
You ain't got to worry. I was praying by 7:30. I was like, nah, Lord. Nah, Jesus.
But you're growing up a little bit, girl.
I'm doing that.
We might have to change your name from Similac to Baby.
Don't do that. All right, you're doing too much. Never mind. I don't play no more. I don't want to play no more.
Y'all funny.
Oh my goodness.
It be Lisa.
If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you'll never miss another show. If you're watching us on Facebook, hit the like button. Also turn on your notifications so you'll never miss another show. This has been a great show. We are here every Thursday at 9:00. So follow us on Insta, follow us on Facebook. I think I'm on, it's not even called Twitter anymore. It's called something else. I don't know.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a young person in to handle that.
It's called X now. It's called X.
Okay. I think we're even out there. Kitchen Talk CTC Conversations That Cook. So excited. Thank you, ladies, for joining me tonight. I appreciate it so much. Next week, we are talking about taxes. We getting caught up on all the new stuff, the laws, this. If you have your own business, you might want to tune in because our tax guru will be here. I call her my Auntie V.
Auntie V, yes.
She will be in the kitchen next week updating us on our taxes. So make sure you tune in next week. Appreciate you guys so much. It has been awesome. And we definitely will want to see you back next week for our new show. Thank you, everybody, for joining in on the show tonight. So with that said, I'm going to give y'all a good night, and thank you all for hanging out with us. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Sleep well.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk.